Iraqi invasion. Today marked the 9th anniversary of the U.S. invasion. Officials say blasts left at least 41 people dead and 190 people wounded. One senior Interior Ministry official says no one immediately claimed responsibility and said the blasts were coordinated. He is blaming al-Qaeda in Iraq. The official says that the bombs were meant to prove that the militant group is still able to carry out daily attacks. Attacks took place in at least 8 cities, some of which targeted police or government forces. The highest death tolls were in Kirkuk, Baghdad, and Karbala, killing 11 people in each city. These attacks are the worst violence that the country has seen since February 23rd, when 44 people were killed and 200 were wounded. Iraqi officials are concerned that this violence could overshadow the Arab League summit being hosted in Iraq next week. A vivid reminder of the human toll taken in Iraq. CNN reporter Dina Boyer sent in these photos from the Eyes Wide Open exhibit outside San Francisco City Hall. Each pair of boots represents a California service member who died in the Iraq War. There are 481 in total. The civilian shoes were added to remind people of the Iraqi civilians who have also died in the war.
St. Patrick's Day may have been on Saturday for most, but not at the White House. They are still celebrating today as President Obama hosts Irish Prime Minister Edna Kenny. The two leaders are discussing world economics and ways to boost Ireland's struggling economy. Both Obama and Kenny sported green ties in honor of St. Patrick's Day, and a lunch and reception was also held at the White House this evening.
The dead heat race is on and the fight is heating up. Presidential candidates Mitt Romney and Rick Santorum are fighting hard in the Illinois primary today. Greg Black has the story.
The Romney campaign sent an email to reporters with a clip of Santorum saying he doesn't care about the unemployment rate. It's part of a comment Santorum made earlier Monday. Santorum later clarified.
Of course I care about the unemployment rate. I want the unemployment rate to go down, but I'm saying my candidacy doesn't hinge on whether the unemployment rate goes up and down. Our candidacy is about something that transcends that. It's about freedom.
And they butted heads over business experience.
I'm someone experienced in the economy. I'm not an economic lightweight. President Obama is. We're not going to be successful in replacing an economic lightweight with another economic lightweight.
And I heard Governor Romney here call me an economic lightweight because I wasn't a Wall Street financier like he was. You think that's the kind of experience we need? Someone who's going to take and look after, as he did, his friends on Wall Street and bail them out at the expense of Main Street America?
The Romney campaign took another swipe at Santorum, posting a web ad showing Santorum endorsing him for president in 2008.
You must vote for Mitt Romney.
And Romney savored Sunday's win in Puerto Rico.
These pancakes are something else, I'll tell you. These pancakes are as large as my win in Puerto Rico last night. I must admit, the margin was just about as good.
I'm Greg Black reporting.
The latest poll, according to the American Research Group, has Romney leading by double digits over Santorum. There are 54 delegates at stake in Illinois.
House Republicans have revealed a plan that they say will help balance the budget. The plan from Budget Chairman Paul Ryan outlines a $3.5 trillion proposal for 2013 and a cancellation of $55 billion in defense spending cuts. It would also include a change in tax rates, tax cuts, and changes to entitlement programs. The primary goal of the plan is to set a cap of just over $1 trillion on discretionary spending. Ryan believes it's what America wants.
If we simply operate based on political fear, nothing's ever going to get done. If we allow entitlement politics, fear that your adversaries will turn your reforms into a political weapon to use against you, and we cow to that, then America's going to have a debt crisis.
The Congressional Budget Office has not yet released an analysis of the Republican proposal. The Federal Reserve is again the most profitable in the world. The bank made a huge profit in 2011, earning $77.4 billion, which is just a little lower than their earnings in 2010. The Federal Reserve even bought bonds to stimulate the economy. As a whole, they made more than America's top 5 largest banks combined and earned double what Apple did. Most of the money comes from interest paid on securities that the Reserve bought during the financial crisis. After the Federal Reserve pays its bills, the remaining earnings go to the Treasury, which means that $75.4 billion will head there this year.
Jacob Clark is ready to report for jury duty, and many say that he would be objective. He's a legal resident of his town and has been summoned. But why won't he be going to court? Amanda Grace explains.
I got jury duty.
When 9-year-old Jacob Clark received this summons for jury duty at Orleans District Court, the third grader only had one question.
I said, what's jury duty?
At this stage of the game, Jacob is more interested in riding his bike than determining guilt or innocence, but he seems to have a good handle on how it all works.
If you're picked, then you go up to the judge and then you say if they're guilty or not guilty.
I think he'd do well. I think he's impartial. He'd be able to be objective. As long as there was no jury tampering. If someone, offered him an Xbox game, he would do as they asked. But besides that, he's a very impartial kid.
According to the state's jury commissioner, census records in Jacob's hometown of Yarmouth indicate he was born in 1982, which would make him 30 instead of 9.
It could have been a data entry error at the town. It could have been on the census form that the parents fill out.
Summon for jury service.
But this is not the first time Jacob was called for jury duty. He first got summons when he was 2, which he